When you use virtual machines a lot, there is the likelihood that you may want to share directories on your host machine to the virtual machine or vice versa at one point in time. Because there are certain instances whereby you have certain resources on the host that you want to transfer to the virtual machine and use them in the VM or vice versa. This video is going to walk you through the steps to do that. So you can see that my VM has already been turned on. Before you can do this, your VM has to be powered on. So I'm going to switch to full screen. So this is File Explorer in the VM. You can see that it doesn't have any directory here which is connected to the host machine. So this directory you are seeing here is on the virtual machine. So to do this, you are going to right click the name of the virtual machine and then you click Settings. So from Settings you click the Options button and then you click Shared Folders option. So by default, you can see that it has been disabled. VMware gives a warning that shared folders expose your files to programs in the virtual machine. This may put your computer and your data at risk. Only enable shared folders if you trust the virtual machine with your data, which is very true because when you are connecting or when you are sharing the directory from the host machine to the virtual machine, and that directory has files that have been infected by viruses within the directory. When you share it with the virtual machine, they are going to infect files within the virtual machine. In the same vein, when you have files that have been infected by viruses in the virtual machine and you transfer them to the host, they are also going to affect files on your host system. So you need to be very careful and trust the directory that you are sharing. It's very important. So from here, I'll click Always Enabled. Always enabled. Now when you go for this option, enabled until next power off, that one means that when you connect a directory to the virtual machine and you reboot your system, the directory is going to be disconnected. Or when you suspend the state of the system and resume the state of the system back, it is going to be disconnected. So I'll go for always enabled in this case, and then I'll check the box for map as network drive. This is similar to sharing of directories or sharing of volumes on a local area network, where you map the volume or you map the directory which has been shared as a network drive. So when you go to File Explorer, you see it as a drive instead of a normal directory. Alright, so I'll check that box and then I click Add. So from here I'll click Next, and then here I have to insert the path to the directory that I want to share from the host. So I'll click Browse and then I look for a directory to share. So here I'll go for PEX directory and then I click OK. So you can see it has inserted the path to the directory from the host inside this text field, and then I click OK. So here it says enable this share. We have to maintain it. Obviously we want to share the directory, so we need to leave it checked. Now when you check the box for read only, it will limit you as to the stuff that you'll be permitted to do within the contents of the directory in the within the contents of the directory. So if I check the box for read only, it means that I cannot copy files from the directory that I have shared to the VM. Neither can I rename, neither can I delete, neither can I move any of the files. So we have to leave that one unchecked, and then I click finish. Now it's not only directories that can be shared, volumes as well can be shared. So if I want to share a volume, I'll click Add, click Next, click Browse, and then I pick a volume to share. In this case, I'm sharing volume D. So I'll click volume D and then I click OK. You can see it has inserted a path to volume D in the field. So I'll click Next, maintain this one, and then I click Finish. So you can see the two paths to the different directory and the volume inserted right here. So I'll click OK to complete the process. Immediately after clicking OK, we have seen that we have a new volume over here, similar to a directory or a volume that has been shared on a network drive, with the network drive icon over here. So when I double click it, you see I have volume D, and then I have the PEX directory that was shared from volume H. So if I double click volume D, these are the contents within volume D that are coming from the host machine. So if I switch to the host machine and go to volume D, these are the contents. So I have everything within volume D on the host inside the virtual machine. So whatever I do here affects files within the host machine. Whatever I do to any of these directories or any of the files over here will affect files in the VM, because it is more or less like you connecting an entire volume, a physical volume, to the virtual machine. That is what it means. So what we do here affects the virtual machine. All right, so let me go back here and then double click to open the PICS directory as well. These are the contents in the PIC directory. So when I switch to the host machine and then I come to the PICS directory, these are the contents. Now, because we didn't check the box for read only, whatever happens also on the host will affect files within the virtual machine. So I am going to copy a file and put it into the PICS directory from the host, a file from the host. So I'll pick this file over here, Pro Evolution Soccer 2019 settings, and then paste it into the host. Now, if I switch back to the virtual machine and refresh, we have Pro Evolution settings, the file that we copied into that directory on the host, right here in the VM. In the same vein, if I put anything in this directory from the VM, I will have it on the host. So let me just create a dummy folder over here. A dummy folder over here and label it as server. So if I go back to the host machine, I have the server directory that I just created over here on the host. So this tells us that anything that you put into this directory from the host, from the virtual machine, will be available on the host. So if I delete anything from here within this directory whilst I am operating in the virtual machine, it will as well be deleted from the host. So we have these two directories, cyber and then test. When I switch to the host machine, you can see we have them there. Now I'll come back to the virtual machine and delete these two folders. Delete these two folders. Now when I go back to the host machine, you can see we do not have those two folders any longer. In the same vein, I have these files 1, 3, and then 4. 1, 3, and 4. If I come to the virtual machine, we have 1, 3, and then 4. So if I come here on the host, select 1, 3, and 4 and delete them, they will be deleted from the directory which has been connected to the virtual machine. So if I refresh, you see 1, 3, and 4 are gone. So you always have to be careful when you are dealing with any of these files. Now, I can also move files from the directories that have been shared to the VM with the host. So if it is this file that I need, I can just drag and drop onto the host machine, drag and drop it to the desktop. Or I can just copy it from here and then come and paste. Anyhow that you want it can be done. Alright, so if I want to disconnect this one, if I don't need it anymore, or I don't want it to be too much exposed to viruses or any other malware, I can just right click and disconnect it. Now, when you disconnect it from here and you reboot the system, that connection is still going to be established because of the option that we chose at the time that we were creating the settings. So here we chose always enabled. So it means that even when the system is rebooted, we are still going to have a connection for that directory. So I'm going to go ahead to reboot the system for us to see how it's going to work. So I'll restart the guest machine. Alright, so the system has rebooted. So let's go to Explorer to confirm. So this is the file explorer in the virtual machine. So I'll click this PC and you can see that we do not have it here connected yet. So I'll right click to refresh and then we have it connected back again. because of the option that we chose, that's always connected. So when we want to permanently disconnect it, I will disconnect it here again, and then this time I'll come to Dell Inspiron, go to settings, and then I'll click options, shared folders. This time I will click the directory and then click remove, and click yes to remove all the directories. So I remove all of them. I will uncheck the box for map as network drive, and then click the radio button to disable the folder sharing option. So I'll click OK to complete the process. So that is all for this tutorial. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, kindly subscribe and share with your colleagues to also subscribe and enjoy many more contents from this channel. Thank you once again for watching.